All right, so here we are. So let's thank you all for joining us. My name is Jordan Hale. I use the he, series of pronouns, and we're really excited to be joined today by an amazing group of experts to answer questions for incoming transfer students. Before we get started with all their wonderful wisdom, we're going to run through a couple of quick things. First and foremost, you all should know this is webinar number 6 for us for the summer, and it's only June 16th. So we are flying through, and we are doing a lot, and we thank you all for joining us today. So first and foremost, for those who are not new to Zoom, but maybe new to Zoom webinar, we ask that you ask all of your questions through the Q&A feature. It's what our team will manage and look at and look to put responses in. If you have questions now, you can put them in there. Sending us questions through the chat gives us too many things to kind of look at all at the same time. And so we will be monitoring Q&A. And also, not everybody can see the chat based on our settings. So go ahead and ask your questions via the Q&A feature, and you can start populating those now if you have them. And this session is being recorded, so if you want to view it later, it's going to be posted on the New Student and Family Programs YouTube channel. We just have to make sure to get it transcribed and then get it uploaded. So we have some amazing folks here today who are going to join us. I'm going to let them introduce themselves based on their names here on the screen. So we will start with Anne. Anne, the floor is yours.
Hi, I'm Ann Light. I have been at Duke for a really long time. I work primarily in the Office of Public Affairs, but I've gotten to be an academic advisor for about 17 years. And I'm really excited to meet those of you who are my advisees.
Thank you, Ann. All right, and Rachel, you are next.
Hey everybody, I am Dean Murphy. I'm an academic dean in Trinity College. I've been an academic dean for 7 years, I just realized recently. I work with transfer students, love working with transfer students. I was a transfer student, and I work with a team of 4 other academic deans that we all work together and go over your transcripts. And also as a dean, I direct the program 2 at Duke, and yeah, I guess that's about it.
Awesome. Thank you, Dean Murphy. Dean Rawls over there in Pratt. The floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. My name is Carmen Rawls. I'm one of the academic deans from Pratt. I help students that are coming to the Pratt School of Engineering transfer in. So I help them through the transfer process and to provide them with advising during their time at Duke. I also work with students that are interested in undergraduate research programs. I direct the Pratt Research Fellows and an REU program. So that's it. Looking forward to meeting you all.
Awesome. Colleen Scott, who is joining us from New York. Colleen, the floor is yours.
Hi, everybody. I'm Colleen Scott. I work primarily with the Baldwin Scholars Program, which is a women's leadership group. And then I also advise first years, sophomores, and my favorite group, the transfers.
Awesome. And then Margie Strickland, last but not least, Margie, the reason you all are here. Go ahead, Margie, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so I take all the credit for you being admitted. My name is Margie Strickland. I use she, her pronouns, and I work at the Office of Undergraduate Admissions at Duke, and I oversee the transfer admission process. And I just want to congratulate all of you. As you probably know, this was the most competitive year in Duke's history for transfers. You are the best of the best, and we really saw you as being great fits for our programs and our opportunities. You really were able to convey that in your application, and we can't wait to get you on campus and get you started.
Awesome. Thank you all for joining us. And I'm going to now moderate a couple of things that I just want to ask you all as folks who support incoming transfer students. And for those who are attending, if you have any questions, feel free to put those in the Q&A. So I actually want to start with Dean Rawls and Dean Murphy. I would love for you all to talk through a little bit about the process for transfer students getting their classes transferred over from their institutions, from their current or sort of home institutions. So maybe Dean Murphy, we can start with you.
Sure. It is quite a process, and we are coming to the tail end of it. We want to make sure that you're prepared for Duke and all of the courses that build on each other at Duke, and the directors of undergraduate studies for each department take very seriously the credit evaluation process. And so we take your transcript, we ask you to upload syllabi. I'm sure many of you are familiar with this process already, and we send each syllabi to the director of undergraduate studies to the appropriate department. Once they've given us their analysis and told us whether or not that the course is a one-to-one match, we'll enter that into the spreadsheet. If it's not a one-to-one match, we have a little bit more discretion in terms of assigning it a general college credit. Each course that you took is going to count for 1 Duke credit, and you're allowed to bring in up to 17. I could probably go on for a while, but I'm going to stop there and let Carmen step in.
Yeah, so it's the same process at Pratt, with the addition to, since Pratt is so structured, and the requirements are so specific. After the course evaluations are done, please remember to send the final transcript, so that we can transfer those final credits in. And after the fact, I meet with each of my advisees and go over the four-year plan major, and how the courses that transferred are counting towards those requirements, and what would be the schedule for upcoming semesters.
I just want to step in real quick and say, just as a reminder, with the final transcript, please send it first to the undergraduate admissions office, and then we will ensure that they get in the hands of the Trinity and Pratt advisors. But we have to first validate your admission to ensure that you took the courses that you said you were going to take and that you continue to thrive academically. So we're the first stop, but then we immediately get it to the deans and the other departments so that they can confirm your enrollment and get your courses transferred.
I'd like to put a really quick plug in too. Thank you, Margie, to have your AP IB scores sent directly to the office of the registrar. Yeah, we can talk more about other forms of credit too, but those are important to send to the registrar.
Yeah, and also for any class that a student took before they started their college experience in the institution, those will be pre-matriculation credits. So those are evaluated by the registrar directly. So I would also recommend then for those credit in particular to refer to their website for the correct process.
Thank you all for that. And I think I want to ask Colleen and Ann a couple of questions here, since they do a lot of direct advising with transfer students, but I did want to just kind of walk through the summer just a little bit for you all so you can feel prepared. So, you know, Margie and Carmen and Dean Murphy just talked about the process for getting the academic pieces taken care of. We have a website, bluebook.duke.edu, and we have a tab dedicated specifically for transfer students. That is in part because of the people on the screen. They advocated for you all and wanted to make sure that you had resources like the incoming first-year students. The Blue Book website is a really good place to start to understand placement, matriculation, registration, and then also what university life will be like. It has information about orientation, has information about living in the residence halls here in Duke. It has information about our new living and learning model, QuadX. And so I highly recommend the Blue Book as a place to start. It has pieces about sending things to the registrar and making sure things get to your respective deans. And so if you need to know some calendars or some pieces, I would start there. The other thing is I want to make sure you all are receiving communications from our office. And so every Wednesday, today Wednesday, today's Thursday, but yesterday you should have received an email from New Student and Family Programs, a weekly email we call the Transfer Digest. In that email, we try to provide the top 5 things a transfer needs to know over the course of that week, key deadlines, key updates to make sure that you stay abreast on things you need to do. So between the email and the connections you've already made with the university staff and the Blue Book site, we should have enough pieces in place for you to feel like you can walk through the summer and start off classes well in the fall. But I just want to give those as a couple of resources. So with that as a backdrop, I want to turn it over to my dear friend, Colleen Scott. And Colleen, you have been working with transfers for a while. I would love for you to tell us maybe one of your favorite stories of an advising experience of working with an incoming transfer student.
Yes, I had a soccer player who transferred in, and we had lunch when he got here, and he was here in the summertime because of practice. And we sat down and he said, I'm taking a summer class and I want to do my project on the history of Durham. What do you know? And I was actually able to connect him with the husband of one of my colleagues who's a journalist and wrote a book on the history of Durham. And I'm like, when he got an A+ in that class, I could not have been more proud if I was his mother. So that's one of my favorite stories.
Awesome. That's great. And I'll turn it over to you. I know you've also been advising for a while. What good stories do you have in advising incoming transfer students?
Gee, Jordan, you're putting me on the spot. I didn't know it. I didn't have something prepared. All of my transfer students have been awesome, and they come with a great view of the world. Many come from countries other than the US, and they have great experiences. And they come with questions about how Duke works and how it was different than other schools. So I've learned a lot about how things happen at other schools that helps inform me about Duke. So there's some things Duke does really well. There's some things that Duke doesn't do as well as your other school, but we'll find a way to make it work for all of you.
Great, great. Thank you for that. When you all are thinking about the transfer student experience, there's a lot that goes into it, a student deciding to make the decision to come to Duke, and then coming here and kind of having a great experience. Kind of from you all's history in working with transfer students, I would love for you all to give maybe incoming transfer students something that they can look forward to as they get ready to start at Duke from your varying perspectives.
Do you mean something unique to Duke or?
Yeah. Something unique about Duke.
If you don't mind, the plug that I make that I think is one of the most important appointments that you can make is to meet with the director of academic engagement as soon as you get to campus, or even virtually, probably now over the summer, that I'm assuming that they're taking appointments. They are the people that are just going to help you figure out all of the different co-curricular activities that you can do that marry well with your intellectual interest and your academic requirements. They have global civic DAEs that can help with study abroad and Duke Engage, and they've got curricular DAEs that will help you figure out who's doing the research that you want to be doing. I just can't overemphasize the importance of making an appointment and seeing a director of academic engagement as soon as you get here, as soon as you can, to learn as much as you can about Duke and how to take advantage of all the resources. That would be my number one.
Great. Thank you.
I would just say we've met with several transfer students who are currently at Duke and asked them about their experience here, what's been good, what's been bad, what's been surprising. And almost every single student has said they have really embraced and loved the community that they found at Duke, both among the students and among the faculty. Our faculty are really excited about transfers. You bring, as Anne said, a different perspective and new insights, but you also bring you have incredible courage, right? You left your current institution and you made the leap of faith to come to Duke, and you came with a direction and some goals, and you knew what you wanted. You knew that the university you were at before was not working for you for whatever reason. You had maxed out and you were ready for what Duke specifically has to offer. And we saw that in your applications. So you come and know what you're wanting to seek out. So there's research opportunities, flinching with professors. They really love that fact that you come with that ambition and that direction coming into Duke. And I'm gonna also give a plug to my friend Jordan Hale. Another thing that you really should be excited about is the transfer orientation that is going to happen this fall, because it is actually organized by our transfer union, which is led by two students who are current seniors at Duke who transferred in, and they have designed your orientation program based on their experience and their classmates of what worked for transfers and what didn't work. So we know you know college, right? You've been through college. You don't need a remedial take on what it is to come to college as the first year students do, but you don't know Duke. So there's things you need to know and there's things you don't need to know. And also that building of community that's so important. So I'm going to turn it on Jordan to talk more about the transfer orientation, because I think it's really incredible.
Oh man, that's not how this works, Margie, but you're a dear friend, so I got you. So yeah, no, it's actually one of the things I was going to talk about. Our team is really excited about what we're doing for all incoming students, but particular for transfer students. And you all should know, over recent years, we've really been intentional about what we build for students and how our language matters, right? So there tend to be a lot of focus on incoming first year class of, if it was 2025, 2026, and we've really been intentional about using language like incoming student, because there are transfer students who are also starting at Duke. So, but Margie is right. Orientation this year is going to look different. We have really leaned into our student leadership and asked them, what do they think orientation should cover? How can we make it unique to transfers? And how can we make sure that they get the information they need to both build community at Duke, but also feel academically ready to engage at Duke? And so your move-in day will be Tuesday, August 23rd. You'll be greeted by people on West Campus to get you all settled with move-in. And then over the course of the next 5 days, there's going to be a variety of programs, some academic in nature, but really a lot of them social in nature to help you build community with your peers, both here at Duke and within the transfer community. So that includes going out and doing things in the city of Durham. That includes spending sessions with different faculty and staff here on campus to get to know faculty and really engage and connect with some of your academic interests. That means like understanding the history of this place and what it means to be a student at Duke. Understanding wellness from the perspective of somebody who's already been in college, not somebody who's in college for the first time, and then doing some really awesome social things. We're talking about Bulls games, which are a lot of fun, bowling, just a variety of opportunities to connect with your peers. And so we try to balance both the academic with the social and the connection and the community building. And I think what the team has prepared for you is really going to be extraordinary. So we look forward to you moving in. You should know other students are moving in a lot earlier than that, like incoming first years. But as we built a new model for incoming students, we thought that, transfers don't need all those days. They already understand college, and so they can come on our traditional Tuesday move-in day and so have a really great time. So, and yes, you will get to spend time with your academic advisors and your dean, so the people on this call. So for those who are worried, how am I going to connect with the folks who are going to help me academically? They will also be spending time with you as well. So we are excited about it. We think it's really going to help in the transfer experience, and we're excited to see you all in August. Thanks, Margie. How was that? Was that okay? Get a thumbs up? All right, good. Perfect. Anybody else have any thoughts about just kind of the transfer experience here and what they can be excited about as they come in the fall, other than orientation, which is going to be awesome?
Well, I think, yeah. Oh, well, yeah, I mean, Margie really provided an extensive list of the things that, some of the things that they can take, look forward to. I would say, explore all the student groups. There's so many local societies, professional society chapters that we have that are active and work on competitions and go across the nation and compete in different events like the electric vehicle, motorsports, concrete canoeing, civil engineering. There are a lot of student-run organizations that are very fun, and I encourage people to find which are the activities that interest you the most and start reaching out. To help you, there will be an upperclassman E-teamer, peer advisor, undergraduate student who can also help you discuss which are the activities you're interested in and provide you with suggestions.
Jordan, I was going to add one thing. I think it's socially easy and comfortable to hang with the transfer students when you get here. And I think that is a really important first community for you, but I also want you to be brave in meeting other students. And I think you'll find that in your classes and in your clubs, other Duke students will be very welcoming.
Jordan, I wanted to make another point real quick, if that's okay. I wanted you all to know that if you log into your DukeHub, you can find the name of your advisor and your dean listed. We should have reached out to you already. If not, please send us an email and we will get to you as soon as we possibly can. But I just wanted you to know that that is all listed in DukeHub, and juniors, students that are coming in as juniors, your major should be declared already in DukeHub also. I think that's all that I wanted to say for that.
No, it's a really good point, D. Murphy. Starting with after the blue books. Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish.
I remember what it is. The Blue Book Online. I think my name is listed as the person to contact with questions. And I just wanted to really emphasize that I'm working this year with a phenomenal team of 5 other deans. And that's why I wanted you to know that your dean, whomever is your dean, is listed in DukeHub. And yeah, there's a whole team of us that are working on your transfer evaluations.
Perfect. And that's something that's a change, right? That hasn't always been the case. So it shows the dedication of supporting incoming transfer students. And Dean Murphy, if you send me those names, I'll get that updated today if you want me.
I'm working on those edits.
Perfect. So yeah, well, thank you all for coming and joining. I would love for the team here. I know Colleen just gave some great advice. Maybe we give one piece of advice for incoming transfer students as they get ready to come, and then we can make sure that this recording is put online. So, Anne, you look like you are prepared to give some good advice. So I'm going to start with you. You got a piece of advice for incoming transfers as they get ready to come to Duke?
My most important advice beyond getting involved with student groups and beyond this transfer group is to get to know your instructors. We are real people, and we are interested in knowing you as a real person. And so that means going to office hours. That means participating in lunch. And if you don't know what to do when you go to office hours, here's my quick tip. Look at their bookshelves, because every faculty member's got a bookshelf, and pick something on it and ask about it or make a comment about it. Maybe you've read that book. Maybe you want to know a little bit more about this picture of them whitewater rafting. Just start the conversation, and a great friendship may develop and research may develop. So good luck.
Awesome. Thank you, Ann. Colleen, you can go next.
Jordan, I just gave mine.
That's right, you did. I'm so sorry. You did a great job too. Carmen, we'll turn it over to you.
Well, let's see. First, kind of related to Anne's suggestion, ask questions. You're gonna have so many resources of support here at Duke. Take advantage of them. If you don't know who to reach out to Dean Murphy and myself, and we'll direct you to the right person. You'll also be assigned a faculty advisor in Pratt, which is from your plan major. Build a relationship, ask them on career paths. If you're interested on internships, they can, in addition to course selections, they can guide you beyond. So I would say just take advantage of the resources and ask. And of course, if you need help, definitely ask for help. It's not just questions of just finding your way around here. The support will be throughout your time at Duke. It's not just at the beginning. So we're here to help you and guide you.
Perfect. And before I transition to Margie or Dean Murphy, there were a couple of things that came in, and I know they've been responded to, but I think it'd be good for the group just to hear them. So there was a question that came in about minimum number of credits, and Colleen was kind enough to answer that one. And the answer is yes. You have to take a minimum of 4 1-credit courses as a minimum. So thank you for that question. And then there was a piece about for juniors, can they change their majors this summer before entering this fall? And I feel like that might be a little bit more nuanced depending on if you're Trinity or Pratt. So Dean Murphy or Dean Moss, do y'all mind responding to that one?
Sure. You can absolutely do that. And if you just consult with your advisor or your dean, we can make that happen. Now that you're already in the system, you can probably do it yourself, and I can your advisor or dean can direct you to the link at the registrar's website where you would make that change on your own.
Yeah, definitely. If you want to change gears, let us know. We'll help you also reflect that on your course schedule in the fall. For Pratt, it's a little bit different. Our declare major form is online, but definitely yes, you should just study the field that you're passionate about, and we want to encourage that.
I wanted to make a quick plug in the line of what others were saying, if that's okay. And that is, I really recommend, and this may be different for Pratt, so Carmen, please jump in, but for Trinity students, 4 courses, 4 1-credit courses, and maybe a half credit, something for fun, is really a great place to start for the fall. You do not need to overdo it with 5.5 classes. Just because you can enroll in 5.5 classes doesn't mean that's necessarily a great idea. I am strongly in support of that in the spring and subsequent terms, but I think it's really important to get your Duke sea legs in the fall and to not overload with more than 4 classes. 4 courses is absolutely full-time in the way that 5 classes was if you were at a 3-credit hour institution. 4 courses is absolutely full-time and more than enough.
I totally agree.
My piece of advice follows up on what Dean Murphy was just saying, we see the enthusiasm in your applications when you're applying to Duke, and you have just all these great ideas of what you want to do and what you want to take advantage of, and that's amazing, and we appreciate your enthusiasm. but Duke has a lot to offer, and it's like drinking out of a fire hydrant. You don't need to drink it all at once. There's a lot to do and a lot to see and take advantage of, but just pace yourself. You're going to be here. You're going to have time to do the things you want to do and really focus your attention on the things that matter. And I also would just like to say there is no shame, as everybody's talking about getting help. That's from your dean, from your advisor, from your peer advisors, but also from the Office of Academic Assistance, where they are going to, I know sometimes transfers feel like, well, I don't want people questioning whether I belong here at Duke, and there's no shame in getting help. That office is there for you to help you with time management, to help you with some of the Duke specific courses that you're taking. So I would say, one of your first stops when you get on campus is go and talk to them at the ARC. It's the Academic Resource Center. And just, even if you're not having any problems, you haven't even started classes, just introduce yourself, find out what they have to offer. And that's going to be, you're going to be leaps ahead of your classmates in being successful here academically and managing your time.
I have another tip too, Jordan, if that's okay. Okay, so it builds on what Anne said earlier and about getting to know faculty and building your network, which is absolutely really essential for you all to do, as quickly as you can in meaningful ways. And one great way to do that with faculty, the faculty that you really want to know and build a relationship with, is to read something they have published in the last 5 years before you go talk to them. It's online, you can find it. There's the Duke Scholars page where you can really get a sense of what their publications are in the field that you're interested in. But man, does that really distinguish you from your peers when you show up and say, I just read your article that you published last year in Psychology Today, and it's really interesting, and I like this point and that point. That just, you are the most brilliant person in the entire world when you come to faculty like that. And it works. So I would strongly encourage you to do that.
Awesome. Thank y'all for that. So we've had a couple of questions come in. One is, when will their official transfer credit evaluation come out with their spring 22 credits attached? What's the timeline for that?
Well, I would say as soon as the final transcripts are in, Murphy and myself are working with the director of undergraduate studies of each department to get those processed as soon as possible. There can be some delays due to summer schedules, but as soon as we receive all the information, those will be processed. Rachel?
Yeah, as long as you've uploaded those syllabi, we're getting them out to the DUSs, we're making those final determinations and cleaning up the spreadsheets. Please consult with your advisor, your academic dean, send us an email. We'll set an appointment. We'll go over the spreadsheet with you. We're really following up, and we've got better relationships with the different offices that enter all of this data, and that we're working as hard as we can to get it done. So it's just a matter of, do we have all the syllabi, and do we have all the answers back from the DUSs? Do we have the final transcript? Once we have all those ingredients together, then we're great. You should be considering registering for courses now, regardless of when those transfer credits get posted in DukeHub, right? That's just a kind of a longer bureaucratic process, and we're cleaning it up and double checking and crossing T's and little I's and little J's. But you should still register for 4 courses the best you can in consultation with your advisor and your academic dean.
Great. Thank you all. And then one more question about classes with a wait list. Are we at a disadvantage for registering? Can you just talk about the wait list process? I know it's described in some other places, but any thoughts about the wait list for courses?
Carmen?
If the courses are required for you to continue making progress towards the expected graduation date we have set up for you, I would definitely help you with get into those classes. And then which is usually, concerns will be more math or other fundamental classes that other peers have already registered for. But in the past, there has never been an issue. So we'll get you the right classes that you need for your schedule. So you're not at a disadvantage. I always say, if you enter a wait list because you're after sophomore year at Duke, you are able to do so. If you haven't been able to get into the class the week before the semester starts, let me know, because I want to ensure that you're in the right class. We'll ask for permission numbers, reach out to the instructor. I know that when instructors realize, this is a required class for you and you're an incoming transfer students, they're really understanding. So there should not be something to concern about.
Yeah, I agree with everything that Dean Rawls said. I would also suggest that anything past 10 on a wait list is kind of a dicey situation. You want to be sure that you're enrolled in 4 1-credit classes. I did want to make a note about, because it does take some time to get your transfer credit evaluated and entered into DukeHub, right? There may be courses that you need a prerequisite for that you actually have in your transfer credit, but it just hasn't been inputted yet into DukeHub. I understand wanting precise deadlines and such. If that is the case, let your advisor, your academic dean know. Really what you need to do is let start with your advisor and your academic dean, and we will tell you how to go about getting a permission number to enroll in a class that you have the prerequisite for, but it's just not yet showing up in DukeHub. People are aware of the process that it takes to get transfer credit in DukeHub, and faculty are understanding, and we'll make a way before your credit has to post so that you can register for 4 courses. Hopefully that makes sense and it's clear.
Yeah, Colleen, it was perfect. I saw you came off mute, Colleen. Would you want to share something here? Nope. Okay. Well, listen, thank you all for asking these questions. I want to leave a couple seconds in case there's another question that comes in, and I will just give a couple of more pieces here. Again, move-in day for incoming transfers is August 23rd. It's a Tuesday. Information will be coming out from housing assignments about that, and so be on the lookout for that. Your housing placement information will also be coming out soon. The housing team just finished up the placements for first-year students. They're going to do transfer students right after that. And so that information will be coming to you soon. Again, we have a great slate of programs in place for orientation week, and we think you're going to have a great time meeting with your transfer advisory counselors and making sure that you have a great sort of experience as you start here at Duke, and a variety of new programs and some old favorites that we're bringing back. And so, yeah, our team is being very thoughtful about you all and excited to see you in the fall. So if there is nothing else, thank you. Thank you to our panelists. I deeply care about each of you. You all did a great job, and we'll look forward to seeing you all soon. Be safe and take care.